Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's game 2 of a best of 3 between Toxic Kittens and Savage Desperados. I think LoveDi's here, or he's at Buffalo Wild Wings. We'll never know.
Wish I was at the second thing. But I am in fact here for some spicy matches instead. Getting into game 2 after a Toxic Kittens convincing victory for game 1, split pushing to death like usual.
So if you were to put a pepper scale onto this series, would we be jalapeno, habanero, ghost pepper, Carolina Reaper? What are we looking at, LoveDi?
Maybe like a bell pepper.
Oh.
I haven't seen any actual flame coming from either team. Mostly just directed at me in the pre-game champ select. Other than that, really, just not a lot of spiciness.
There was that Nasus that was half-healthing people with 1Q. That was the thing.
Right. But we can see, quick announcement, that was slightly loud. PP Fugnuggler, the one, the only, is back in the mid lane. Kina has been swapped out. The emergency sub no longer being needed means there's only one penalty ban for the roster has stayed the same for the Savage Desperados. No changes there. And we're going to be going into now with Jace and Malzahar being banned from Consig, and they realized, hey, I was pretty good at this Malzahar. Let's ban that too.
So the Jace pick is still like crazy interesting to me because I know Consig plays a lot of Jace, and it's something that's been seeing varying levels of play competitively. You know, lethality being a thing always makes Jace a thing because reasons, but it's not even in the terms of lethality champions. Jace is probably like bottom 2 on that totem pole there. I mean, we're seeing Talon a lot more, Jhin almost every game, Lucian and Draven, and Jace just doesn't seem worth it unless it's a pure Consig target ban.
Well, important to note, he's not exactly picked for his ability to abuse lethality items. The last time we saw Jace in competitive play, there were 2 consistencies, Black Cleaver and Blade of the Ruined King. And they may feel that a Blade of the Ruined King Jace really counters the whole split pushing idea that Red Flame wants to be behind. Because Jace with that build is not really much of a team fighter. He is, of course, still decently fight to pick out targets, but his EQ doesn't hurt nearly as much because he wants to sustain and the 1v1 match. To have a strong split pusher opposite of Red Flame, but we see Darius being blind picked in the top lane. Gragas being picked up as well. Basically confirms this is not going to be any kind of crazy shenanigans. Darius is going top.
Yeah, and we saw the insta-lock Jhin first pick. They really like Xyleon on that champion. It did extremely well last game, and they need that in the pickup. Yeah, there were a couple bumps, but it still overall did very well. Mundo does get locked in.
Mundo's become the new Galio because he's being tailored more and more towards an anti-heavy mage style. Gaining a magic resist per stack of his E now. He's still, of course, very tanky with the regen, but getting it into the composition that the Savage Desperados have right now, I'm not quite sure if that'll work out well. And we have the Nasus again.
So you do need a consistent 15 stacks of his E to break even comparatively to how it used to be, and that actually ends up costing a lot of health for Mundo. So early on in the game, he's not going to be able to keep those stacks where he wants them, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out if they do prioritize the stacks versus health and see how it runs into the lane. But with the Nasus pickup, where does this Mundo go? Because I can't see a Mundo jungle.
I mean, we're going full Stonewall. I know that Stonewall has said this before. He's not exactly a high But he loves the Mundo jungle, and one reasoning, something that I've discovered experimenting a little as well, is that especially with the changes, but even before, Mundo's got a very steep leveling curve. Of course, the first couple levels, very nice, tons of base damage with those cleavers, but after that he falls off a little bit in the mid game. He doesn't feel that strong, he's not exactly that tanky yet. His level 1 ultimate, yes, it provides regen, but you're literally just like a Volibear passive. Just don't have the tankiness or the utility to really be utilized. Maybe they believe this Mundo in the jungle will help shore up some of those weaknesses. Putting him in the jungle means he's got a safer early game and a safer mid game to be able to farm up camps without opposition. They may have even been, well, they couldn't have been flexible, picked the same rotation, but really, picking it in the jungle, still decent, especially if you go for blue snipe. You've got a lot of tools to try and run down targets over an extended period of time. Maybe they feel they can make this Mundo in the jungle pick work, and we can see some AD bans have been coming down from the Toxic Kittens. They want to ban away some power picks from very barred name. I do like the Draven ban. Despite Xyleon doing well on the Jhin, he definitely got abused in extended trades.
Yeah, and Draven can, if they'd gotten kills early on the Draven, then that lane could have gone a very different way, and then from there the game is completely different. We do see Bard picking up the Tristana, though.
Bard picking up Tristana. They did ban away the Taric on the side of Savage Desperados, and I think it's a smart move. Definitely did a lot to keep that Jhin protected in the mid game. I do want to see something similar coming out of Samano, though. I don't know how to feel about the Blitzcrank. I would have liked something like a Janna, a Nami, Lulu maybe.
Tom
something
Kench.
to keep him protected. Yes, really, Tom Kench would work as great as well because they don't have a real tank killer. Oh god, don't bring out the Maokai support. Oh, that's
Joke's
a lot
on
of
you.
initiation.
It's Maokai mid Talia support.
Oh, that'd be spicy as hell, but I don't think Maokai has a very good matchup into Victor.
No, it's absolutely god-awful, and you lose that 10 out of 10 times.
There was, in the time when Zed and Talon reigned, a time where I would play Maokai in the mid lane with Exhaust as a counter pick. Very fun.
The
very
issue is
effective.
now that Maokai's sapling damage is very much weighted towards the bushes.
Right. You don't even get damage anymore from the initial landing from the sapling. It really hurts still off rolls for, but you know, we're going to have it in the support role. There's definitely going to be a range disadvantage on the side of the Toxic Kittens. Tristana is going to scale up in range over time. Lulu, of course, being one of the best poke-oriented supports, getting into the dangerous territory of the Brands and the Vel'Koz. But other than that,
Current patch Lulu actually does a lot. And this
Right.
is once again another lane where I am going to have to give the lane advantage, at least, over to the Desperados. Tristana Lulu is just going to be putting out so much poke into Maokai Jhin. It's going to be very hard for them to push the lane. And even last game, we saw that Jhin was down 15 CS at roughly 15 minutes. And now, heading into an even harder pushing lane, I see it happening again at the very least.
harder pushing, yes, but less punishing. So if Jhin does decide to go for that CS to try and equalize CS deficits, he's not going to get punished nearly as hard in all but the worst of situations. Of course, Maokai doesn't exactly provide much in the way of peel, or at least traditional peel. So we're going to have to see the dynamic for that bot lane. Also in the top lane, in a vacuum, we do expect this to be favored towards Consig. He's also a very aggressive player, may be able to capitalize on Nasus's poor early game, especially considering the changes. But you never know, he might get a little too aggressive. And in the mid lane, Victor, since his nerfs many moons ago, has never quite been the same. Expect this to heavily favor Talia. She's very aggressive summoner spell, going to try to snowball that lane. But in the jungle wise as well, not exactly the strongest utilization. Gragas is of course going to be a more traditional jungler, have more gank paths open to him, but we're really going to have to see what kind of ganking paths, what kind of pathing in general we see from this Mundo. He's got a lot of options for how he wants to go to the jungle.
I was really hoping the Mundo was going to be a placeholder pick, But with only a minute remaining in spectator delay, I am forced to accept that it is not a placeholder, and we are going to have to actually see the Mundo. And I'm curious because pretty much every member of the Desperados, minus maybe Lulu Gragas, can pick up a Grievous Wounds item, and actually even Gragas can build Brambleback now. Granted, he's probably not going to get autoed by Mundo that much, but...
Or by a Jhin. It would be very wasted to get one.
Yeah, I mean, but it, like, the availability of Grievous Wounds is so absurd that Mundo is in really rough shape. The motorcycle agrees.
But he does provide a soft poke, soft initiation, though. He provides a lot of openings for Maokai to run in for his Twisted Pursuit. Of course, Nasus can follow up with the Wither, Leo with Rylai's, and of course, Jhin can land his W and his ult with the astounding amount of slows that can become composition. Just across the board, tons of soft initiation, some decent regular initiation as well. Maokai can set up an ultimate, Weaver's Wall can cut off enemies, really a lot of ways that they can create zones of control. They're actually a decently strong team fighting team in the river. Not necessarily in choke points, but in places like the river where they have a little bit of maneuverability and they have options to set up brushes with Maokai saplings and have a sweeping ultimate perhaps as well. Really gives them tools to capitalize with a composition as strength as this. On the other side, it's like a 1-3-1 for the Savage Desperados. Victor, of course, clears waves very quickly. Just Tristana takes care of towers very quickly, and Darius probably wants to be in that 1v1 for quite a while. It should take a decent amount of time of scaling up before this Nasus can surpass him in the one, if ever. So really comes down to how hard they can snowball this top lane early on, because if Nasus winds up getting ahead, that is a huge problem, because they're not going to have anyone deal with them. Oh, I do like this change. Last game, did go for the Storm Raider Surge. He doesn't quite feel that confident this game. He's gone for the Grasp of the Undying, wants a little bit of extra tanky stats, a little bit more sustain. Getting into the game now, we are getting into Game 2 of the Toxic Kittens versus the Savage Desperados. Can the Toxic Kittens take home this series 2-0, or are we going to be going to a third game?
It is going to be interesting to find out what we do end up seeing, because we see a very similar draft coming out of the Kittens-ish. I mean, they have a bit more engaged. But the goal of this draft is let Red Flame carry and see what happens.
I mean, it's kind of similar. Taric and Maokai, kind of the same idea.
You know what? I'm still thinking old Maokai.
I think it's very strange, but unique, and definitely can work.
I would have liked to see actually a Gragas support. Then we would have just seen tank supports.
I absolutely would have loved to see one as well. Open up some more initiation tools as well. There was no reason really to pick the Darius that early on. Maokai was available. They could have picked up the Maokai themselves, picked up Gragas as well.
And once again, I'm forced to lament the lack of a meta jungler for Toxic Kittens. You know, I mentioned that I had hoped that Mundo was going to be a placeholder. But when you look at what was available, you honestly just have to shake your head.
Zach was open. Maokai was even picked on the same team.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go so far with Sejuani.
Sejuani is really strong.
I'm not quite sold on Sejuani as a champion. I feel she's that. They're going for a Raptor start. Neither team going for a refillable potion. Tisk. Inefficiency.
Lots of money wasted.
We're going to see if I would prefer to have the camera shift over to Mundo for this level 1. See how he uses those saplings. Oh god, he's going to give him over. No, that's not how you do that. You just gave over 3. No. Okay, I was about to say, let's see how experienced they are with this Maokai leash. See if they know what they're doing. They obviously don't. You don't have both the mid laner and the Maokai leash those Raptors, because as we can see there, they die.
So he doesn't get level 2 after even full completing the camp. We can
That's
already
a
see
hell of an XP lead for the Maokai.
Spectrum forced to back off, start burning those potions.
Oh god,
early.
there's an invade level 1 onto the red buff. He does manage to smite it away though.
We actually smited early. I think there just wasn't vision for Sour Bar. But yeah, in the end of the day, they do get it.
That's interesting. Sour Bar twice in a row has managed to completely predict in both Game 1 and Game 2 those early clear from Draziki. He just this time he didn't manage to capitalize fully on it.
I do like the coin pickup by Samano though. You very well could have gone for a Targon shield on the Maokai, being a melee. You get that execute in. But coin, it's actually an absurd amount of money and mana regen that you get from it. And so he's able to just kind of keep throwing out those saplings.
Uh-oh. Trading.
He autoed the cannon minion though, so he does.
He's just going to take more damage in return from the minion aggro. Ooh. That's some heavy trading right there.
Gets the bump over to Mayo, does get the unraveled earth damage in as well.
He doesn't. Does he?
Ooh, fifth strike,
I mean, he's taking
gets
a lot of
the apprehend.
minion aggro.
Ooh, good weather.
He flashed to continue the chase with no Q available. So he just winds up burning his flash for that. That's 2 potions that are now getting burned down from the Nasus. He may be able to just sustain back to full HP. Well, not full HP, but to a healthy state.
Draziki actually didn't check to see if Sour Bar's red buff was there. And so it's still available. Sour Bar's going to just do a crazy full clear here. With the blue ping on it to the red buff, we see...
Oh, they're going for it.
Talia walking in. They don't have vision on it, though.
Are they not going to go for it? They actually saw with the ward on the Raptor camp, they saw the Gragas go to the red buff, but it looks like they're going for a collapse on the top side instead. They're going to try to take care of this Darius who has no flash. Victor is only able to move up first. Yeah, they didn't go for it. Wow. They had full vision of the Gragas. They could have definitely gone for it. They had no flash for the Darius as well.
Deadly Flourish is going to connect. Fourth shot goes out. 144 damage.
Taking minion aggro. He's dead.
Consig.
Wow.
He's gonna die. First blood comes in for Spectrum. But now Sour Bar is there. Has
still got
flash available. Body Slam flash. Red buff gets the kill.
What? You knew the flash body slam was coming. Why don't you flash? There's literally no case where the Gragas is not going to flash there. Oh god. Alright.
Not actually sure why, but it does get the return kill onto the Gragas. Going to be able to get a bit tankier, a bit faster. We've been seeing a lot of Gragases go for that Cinder Hulk build instead of the old Runic Echoes. So we'll have
both using their TP for the top side as well. They want to get back to the lane as soon as possible.
Consig just going right back at it. Level down, doesn't land the Decimate, lands the Apprehend into the slow. Gets withered up, eats the damage shred coming in there.
More trading in the mid lane. We can see that Talia is winning this matchup as expected. No pots for the Darius.
Ooh,
oh god.
Xyleon gets caught out.
Gonna have to burn a summoner.
Glitterlands blows the heal.
See, this is something that Xyleon really needs to respect. Oh, okay. Is this an all-in? It's an all-in.
Wither into the ultimate, into the Siphoning Strike, into the Siphoning Strike. Eventually gets the kill, gets the stack. And that is Spectrum getting his second 1v1 of the game.
All right. So that's 2 solo kills now for the Nasus, and with no TP available for the Darius, Gragas is in the bottom side of the map and was also seen on a ward.
It's going to be a fair amount of damage in that top side.
Yeah.
And I'd like to point out, it looks like Xyleon actually listened to you a little bit, picking up that Doran's Ring start this time.
I do like it. This is a farm lane, probably not going to be aggressive on either side nearly as much. You want to scale up, you want to let this Maokai get the passive gold generation. And you're now well aware that your Nasus is going to be winning top lane once again. No reason to try and play aggressive on the side lanes. Continue to let him scale up.
looking like it's going to be an early righteous
Oh,
glory once again.
Draziki, stop with the greedy jungle clears. He's going to get caught if anybody walks anywhere close. He might not even be able to do this on his own.
Yeah, I was gonna say he might just straight up die, but we don't
And
have
here we go
vision on
again,
it.
another
Xyleon
capitalization.
forced to flash. Glitterlance doesn't connect.
He's gonna go for it.
There's the
Yeah.
rocket jump, gets the kill. Rocket jump out. We do get the Ocean Drake. Haim Sour Bar gets the knockup. Here's Draziki popping the ultimate.
No flash,
Tossed
though.
on the Sour Bar. He's done in the water. Oh, the huge shield.
Oh, they're going
Here
for it,
comes
though.
the Weaver's Wall, goes in, gets slowed, gets polymorphed, gets the bomb and the exhaust. Unrivaled Earth doesn't get the knockup. They're doing everything they
Nice
can.
kill.
But Reader's Rabbit is the sacrificial lamb this time. He's going to go down to Fugnuggler. Bard manages to escape, pings onto the Gragas, but he's just going to body slam over the wall.
Xyleon over and over again. When he knows his support is not in the lane, he keeps getting punished for it. He needs to back off and sacrifice a few of the CS. He's just not reading the lane very well, and he keeps getting punished. But last game, this happened multiple times. This game, it's happened twice already, and he keeps losing summoners as well, so it's going to continue to happen. Every time Samano's not in that lane with him, he's going to get punished for it.
And I mentioned that this lane would be a bit different, and you said that it wouldn't be as punishing. It is, in essence, possibly more punishing due to the Glitterlance and the Rocket Jump able to close such a distance onto Xyleon, whereas before it was so much more telegraphed having the Draven just run at you.
Well, the reality is just the all-in is technically not as strong from a Tristana Lulu, but yes, there's definitely more potential to start the all-in to begin with, just more tools available, especially pre-6.
2-level advantage.
Okay,
Consig
you're gonna have to flash out.
gets minion
That's
blocked,
not even going to get
but
him to
it's
safety.
not even enough. Wither is not even needed a second time. That siphoning strike cooldown causing a headache for VR Consig. Deadly Flourish not going to connect. Throws down the root collar. But it's not fast enough.
They definitely could have played that much better. When you get that Twisted Advance off onto a target, especially that doesn't have flash, you have the opportunity to walk a little bit ahead of them and then cue them back into your team and then use the ultimate. Or even you can use the ultimate at the start. Either way, just didn't realize they had the potential maybe to all in and went a little bit late.
I think
Like, maybe just a little bit of hesitation before they actually decided to go all in, and that's winding up being a very big cooldown burn for the Maokai already.
I think the current iteration you see is Twisted Advance R, walk forward, Q back. But
Right.
the Q back is available every time, not just...
2-level lead for the Nasus. Well, 2-level now.
Gragas showing up top lane on multiple wards, though, so he's not going to be sneaky beaky at all.
Oh my goodness, look at this item start for the Nasus. Glacial Shroud, then Kindle Gem, and I'm assuming that's a Sheen coming next.
Yep.
Yep,
30%
just teleporting back to lane.
CDR.
Absolutely ridiculous.
At
He's
level
got
9.
tons of CDR.
Body Slam's going to connect. Draziki pops the ultimate and just walks
No
out.
explosive cask on a Mundo they know does not have flash. Interesting. And a quick note for those wondering. There is in fact 10% CDR from the Nasus, so he's already at max CDR. Got 40%.
Which
10% in runes,
the
plus 30% in items.
the
He's got full
50%
CDR already.
50% from his ultimate is actually after that. as
1.2 second cooldown
well. Before
on his
ultimate.
Q. Yep. No, 2.4 without ulti.
Oh,
1.2
yeah,
with
okay.
ulti.
So,
So, you know, every other auto.
Yeah.
And he's just going to straight up take this tower. And Mundo's just going to push him away,
Oof.
make sure he can't
Look
get
at
any
that
of this
damage.
experience under the tower as well. Maokai's even up here to make sure this is done, but that means Xyleon needs to be careful bottom lane again.
That's... Imagine a Ezreal
Oh god.
Mystic shot
What
that scales every time you kill a minion.
what is this Tristana build though? I'm Blade of the Ruin King. I know there are 3 tanks. So yes. Of course it kind of makes sense. But with Tristana,
The Energizer build is
You
just
really
so much
want
more
the
gold
crit.
efficient.
Yeah, you want to get that crit done as soon as possible. You want those 3 crit items done because that's a huge spike in power. Taking that. Oh, God, we might have it all in there.
Misses his knockup, and he's gonna be punished for it. Forced to flash away. Good preemptive shield from Rita Rabbit. Blocks the 4th shot. Dancing grenade into Twisted Advance. The polymorph comes in.
Oh, they're just diving Consig again.
Consig. Buddy, we need a chat. I think it's time for you to move out, find a different lane. Deadly Flourish connects. Rocket Jump doesn't care, though.
Yeah, Samano's not aware of the trading pattern for this Q.
Oh, one more bullet. The flash from the board. Samano says, who cares? I don't care about towers. Sour, though, he has words to say. The knock into the knockout. Buster Shot actually saves Leon. Samano takes the kill for himself.
Yeah, Tristana just winds up executing her jungler. They managed to knock the Jhin into tower, and instead of jumping on him,
gets the knockup. 4th shot, Dancing Grenade, 2 more kills
well
picked
done,
up for
dive.
the Kittens.
Nasus can just keep pushing as well. Gonna be able to heal that up very quickly. 2 Qs and he's back to full. Going for a dive again? He doesn't even have ulti. Oh, wow. Alright.
Just so much damage.
They're going to be able to get bottom tower for this as well. They know that nobody's going to be able to return in time.
They should
or not. Are they not? What? Are they going for Drake instead? They
should get the dragon. Infernal Drakes are just going to be so much bit. An Infernal Drake on this Nasus, it's at 1 Infernal Drake, it's 6% bonus attack damage and ability power. So the Nasus doesn't get too much out of it because most of his
Maokai backed.
Stacks.
Why did the Maokai back? They needed as many people as possible here because they know nobody's going to be going to the top side of the map. They've started this a little bit late, and they might get punished for this.
Teleport's available for Consig. Ion Celebar did not go for the tanky build, though. Way early smite does go down in the end. Deadly Flourish doesn't connect, gets the Blade of the Recruit Rune, King Proc from Bard. He's going to jump in, but doesn't have Executioner's Calling, so he can't do anything about it. 4th shot, Dancing Grenade, Exhaust. Xyleon is a dead man, but now so is Bard. He's going to rocket jump into a captive audience trap. Nuggler gets hit by the proc of the ultimate. The Chaos Storm from Mayo coming up huge.
Well, they got the Drake, but they definitely didn't need to have multiple people die for it. They either should have backed off, just warded it as a team, or just rushed it from the beginning while the rest of the enemy team was still in base. Decision here made it so that they gave enough time for a counterattack from Savage Desperados.
Oh no, Consig missed his Decimate.
He's just diving. Oh god. What are you doing, Red Flame? There's like 5 people here. Red Flame, please stop. No, oh my god, okay. He's just actually just showing off at this point. No reason to push that far up when he knows the rest of his team is nowhere in position to start pressuring. I mean, definitely funny, but completely unnecessary.
Yeah, bad play. He does get the kill onto Tristana, which will help widen the gap between Tristana and Xyleon. And Sourbar, you can see going for that Runic Echoes build, he's so very squishy, almost dying to the red buff.
Right, and I don't like to see that as well. They have the Victor and the Tristana scaling up. They don't need extra damage. They need a front line that's going to be able to survive this Nasus long enough for the carries to deal the damage. Going for this Runic Echoes, yeah, it provides you a little bit of extra damage, but do you really need that when you have scaling, ultra scaling champions like the Tristana and the Victor, where with each item they spike immensely? Plus the Darius as well, he typically goes a little bit damage heavy.
Yeah, we would expect a Black Cleaver. This is support versus jungler, and Samano wins on the health bar, but he's also now kind of stuck. However, the whole molly block up onto Sourbar just drops him immediately, and even with the heal and help from his friends, he goes down very quickly, and that is going to be the Rift Herald going over.
He's going to be taking this inhib in the next 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to have to go bottom. There's 4 mid right now. He's already going to start pushing this wave. He's going to be taking that inhib. Just a matter of time.
Earth lands on to Victor. Bugnuggler's putting out tons of damage onto this team right now.
What? Are they inting? What are they doing? They've decided they want to surrender.
This is certainly questionable.
Okay, that's a 2-0 for the Toxic Kittens, and that's going to be the end of this series.
That is the 17-minute surrender. The 6-2-1 Nasus. It's a bit much to handle.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. They wound up winning with an unusual draft, but they did play to its strengths. Except for Xyleon getting a little bit aggressive in the bottom lane when there was no reason to. We can see that Red Flame definitely feels confident on that champion. He manages to dominate multiple matchups that in theory should be bullying him instead. The rest of the team are just not playing around that. Consig is just getting dominated in the 1v1. Really not much to say. It just seems like a team with better cohesion and with a better game plan managed to win the series 2-0.
Yeah, and once again, we can take a look at these damage charts here. The Nasus, not crazy far ahead of anybody. Only 700 damage ahead of his mid laner and 1,000 damage over the carries of Savage Desperados. So it's not crazy. He was just in such a position that...
I mean, it was a 17-minute game. Damage charts won't tell us much. But anyway,
yeah.
With that said, Doctor, you can take us away while I go and find my Wild Wings.
That is all we have for you guys tonight. I've been Doctor. I've been LoveDi. This was Ascension eSports Elder League. You don't always see 2-0 finishes like this, but they do happen occasionally. But if you want to be involved, if you want to see if you can last longer than 17 minutes, hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on Discord and Reddit. We'll welcome you into the fold. But make sure to tune back in tomorrow, guys. We do have our Phoenix League playoffs taking underway. It is week 2, so there's lots of action to be had there. But for tonight, that's all we got for you guys. We'll catch you next time. Glad you were watching.
Have a good night.
Alright, I'm getting out of here. Thanks, Doctor.
Peace.